Nico Prost is on outright pace.
Yeah, he is. Jerome D'Ambrosio's just set the fastest middle sector of anyone on that lap, so he's trying to push to get away from his teammate Loic Duval. Only half a second between the race leaders as they crossed the line last time. It might even be even closer. Look at them as they come towards the final turn. That's still the Dragon Boys battling over third position. And look, we've got 75% of energy remaining, so energy management is not going to be as much of an issue now. You'll still have to do some. You can't just go flat out.
1982.
And that's Jerome D'Ambrosio giving feedback. But here's our race leaders, Buemi and Di Grassi, separated by less than half a second.
2/10 quicker that lap, Di Grassi was, so it's all to play for here.
Absolutely. What a fantastic duel we are about to see. 11 laps remaining here in the third round of the FIA Formula E Championship.
This is the bit where if you're Buemi, you want to look in your mirrors just as you exit the corner here, because that's when the gap is at its biggest, because you accelerate out. I think it was McNish taught me that. You accelerate out, you look in the mirror, the gap's bigger. You don't want to look as you brake, because the concertina effect closes it up. So you always want to make the gap look bigger for your psychological well-being.
So the reason that Di Grassi gained so much on Sebastian Buemi was that Buemi thought the full course yellow was out before we had the countdown from the race director. So he backed off before he needed to, but he is now starting to just gap Di Grassi a little bit in that middle sector. Took a couple of tenths out of Di Grassi and a couple in sector 1 too, so sector 1 as well. So now Buemi is starting to eke that gap back up.
And Buemi's got the pace to do it. He's just got to be calm and not make a mistake. We've seen him make some mistakes recently. As long as he's calm, the pace is in the car and the pace is in him to get the job done today.
We've seen him make 2 today. Does that play on your mind if you think, I've been in the wall once and then I've wrecked my pole lap once? Can I do this?
No, yeah. You know, it depends how mentally strong you are, and that's the difference sometimes. You've got to have that, as Jackie Stewart would say, mind management is so important. At this level, racing is as much a mental sport as a physical sport, maybe more so. As most sports are, you know, golf, all those things.
Now, Robin Frenz has a lot more energy than everyone else. You can see him there in 12th place, so he is going to be able to go quicker than anyone else out there, but he's down in 12th position and is a lot further back from Jean-Eric Verne, so he's 11 seconds off the pack in front of him, so he's lost time somewhere, Robin Frenz. Can't quite figure out where.
And Ollie Rowan's not using really any energy compared to the rest, but it's like if you used a bit more, you might be able to get a little closer up there. It's I don't know. I'm sure that the engineers are on the radio giving him a bit of instruction. Big lock up there from Buemi.
He did the fastest lap of the race on that previous tour, 1 minute 17.4, and has then set the fastest first sector of anyone on this lap so far, and has pulled out so far another 0.6 of a second. We'll see what it is as they cross the line. It was 1.4 seconds. It's now 1.3. So Di Grassi doing a very good final sector there.
This is where Buemi's got to sort of watch himself, because he's got that tendency to keep pushing, and rather than just beat them, he wants to just annihilate everybody, and it's not necessary. It looks great and everything, but too many times he's made mistakes trying to do that.
Oliver Turvey is running in 8th position at the moment, with Nelson Piquet in 9th position for Next EV Team China Racing. But as Jean-Eric Verne uses his fan boost, he's right behind Stefan Sarazan. So Verne trying to attack Sarazan for what is 10th position and the final point scoring position. But Turvey is in 8th place at the moment. But May is under investigation because his pit stop time was too short. There's Hans-Jürgen Abt at 126 BPM, so he's been pretty consistent at 126 throughout the race so far.
Pretty calm so far, which is surprising for a team manager. I know when I've been doing the IndyCar stuff with the Ganassi team, my pulse has been a lot higher than that, and multiples of what it was when I was driving the car. It's a lot more stressful to be sitting in the pit than actually driving the car, I always find.
And you're unfit now as well, presumably.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's because of the diet that you've introduced me to, Jack.
So there is the Renault Edams team watching on, looking a little bit nervy. Verne has got past Sarazan, so he used the fan boost to get past Sarazan and is up into 10th position. But Buemi has now extended to 1.8 seconds clear of Di Grassi.
You know, half a second that lap. He can't drive too defensively, because fear is definitely the path to the dark side. But he's pushing very, very hard there.
Lap 26 of 33. Down towards the hairpin of turns 8 and 9. This is the battle for third position. Jerome D'Ambrosio for Dragon, then Loic Duval, and it is a drive-through penalty for Oliver Turvey. He did his pit stop in 57 seconds, not 59 seconds as he was meant to do. So that's a real shame, because Nelson Piquet promised me lots of champagne if both cars finished in the points.
He did, didn't he?
But it looks as though Turvey may now drop out of the points. So I'm pretty livid with race control myself after that decision.
Now you know how a driver feels.
Yeah, exactly. Lap 26 of 33. This is the battle over third place. Looks as though Buemi's starting to edge the gap up at the front. And great to see the Dragon guys finishing in third and fourth place. I think they'd be satisfied with that.
It's a team performance. Very impressive.
This is Verne using his fan boost to go past Stefan Sarazan. Sarazan in a more retro helmet this weekend, which is cool. But anyway, Verne using the fan boost goes through 10th place, lining up for one championship point.
Catching Piquet as well. So let's see what happens there in that battle. That'll be for 9th place.
Lap 27 of 33.
Or 8th place, because Oliver Turvey's got his drive-through coming.
Yes, that's very true actually. So Piquet will be up to 8th, Verne will be up into 9th, and Sarazan will still be in the points in 10th position.
There's almost like a two series. You know, there's got the guys up front, the top 4 are in the 17s, and then the next guy, Nico Prost, is in the 19s. There's such a big gap there. I don't know how to...
Why is Prost unable to go, at the moment, anywhere near the speed of Buemi? He's not a couple of tenths slower. You know, it's considerably slow.
Don't know, because last year he was the surprise of the season, wasn't he? Especially early on, he was dynamite. He was on the pole positions. He was, you know, running for race wins. It just hasn't come together so far. I don't know why. I'm going to have to go and have a little chat with him and sort of politely ask that question, because as a driver, it's not a question you want to get asked. I have been asked it many times before. Why are you so much slower